Chelsea with the Fat Quarter Shop, and we are here in the Fat Quarter Shop studio, and we have a special guest, Angela Yosten. Welcome to our studio.
Thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit about your books? Your first book. We have some projects here from your books.
Yes. Yeah, I actually have them here. Stop, Go, Quilt, Sew. That's my first book that I wrote with Stash Books. I love this book. It's actually my son, our middle son, Matthew. He was kind of the inspiration for this book. And the fact that it's very difficult to find projects for boys.
Yes.
And not just baby boys, because you can find stuff for baby boys. But for the middle, they grow up and they don't like the rattles and the, teddy bears and things all over their stuff. Yeah. So I wanted to find something that would grow with them to college age, to being an adult, something that would work no matter, because when they get to 16, they drive. Yeah. So it's, you see street signs. I love street signs. I love really anything that's just your typical everyday stuff. That inspires me a lot too. Just, street signs are kind of an art in themselves, I think, and I just turned those street signs into product. Yeah. So like this one, for example, is a big 36 by 36 inch wall hanging that's stretched across a canvas frame. And it's all done in fabric. There's shirts. This is actually my son. I took that picture near where we live on a railroad track. But it's just little things. Projects. Yeah, in this bag, I love it because it's one I carry, and my son always wants to carry it. And, I let him. But I also, because he's still kind of little, I don't want him ruining it. I don't want him dragging it and ruining it. So I'm like, let me carry that for you. But I've had a lot of comments on that because people think I'm trying to keep my kids out of my bag by saying do not enter. So I'm like, hey, it works. So this one is a lot of fun because there's, so many different projects, and it's not just all quilts. It's pillows and jackets, and it's all based around a scrappy applique, but it's not your typical scrappy applique. So that's that one. I have a new book that's actually coming out, and I don't have that book to show today, but it's called So Modern Baby, and this one was inspired by our third son. Paige is actually in this one. She's wearing a hooded panda towel that's in there. But it was based more on the high contrast colors. So you'll see a lot of these projects, and they all use linen. So it's linen based because I wanted that heirloom quality of the projects to where you could pass these projects down from kid to generation, so they'll last. But I wanted also to hit on the fact that, with babies learning in the high contrast colors, when an infant's born, they can't see those pastel colors that a lot of people use in the baby room. Yeah. And so with our third son, I don't know if it was just because it was our third son or my age or what it was, but I'm been more focused with the learning aspect of children and what they can do, what triggers. Yes, they can do. Yes, yeah. So, that was the whole thing on picking fabrics, was it needed to be high contrast mixed with linen, and I just love the way that how they come together and they just work so well together. And so there's quilts, the very modern. Everything in there is like, all the quilts are really modern and high contrast, and they're ones I'm anxious to get back just to use for myself. Yeah, just because they're not baby. It's a modern baby book. Completely, because it's for mom, for grandmas. There's baby toy projects. So they're these little jumbo blocks. They stack and they have ABC on them and 1, 2, 3, and they're learning blocks, but they're soft and they rattle. I put instructions on how to put rattles and different things and squeakers and some of the toys that are in the book. And there's some clothing. So like a lot of people like to do the monthly pictures with babies. So I came up with some 1 through 12 appliques that you can put on onesies or even t-shirts that you can have for every year, like their birthday, marking their 1 year and 2 year birthdays, and all the way up to 12. So there's several different things in this book. Tote bags, I mean, there's 19 different projects that are in this. There's, yeah, some easy, and then some that might take a little, 2 days or 3 days to make, like the quilt. Yep. So that one was a lot of fun, and I'm anxious for that one to come out so everybody can see it and use it.
And then tell us a little bit about the books you've collaborated in.
Okay. Before I wrote Stop, Go, Quilt, Sew, I collaborated, working with Moda. We came up with this Moda Bakeshop book. Fresh Fabric Treats. It was our first book through Moda Bakeshop, and so I helped put that one together.
Can you tell us about how the projects were selected for the book?
Yeah, we just contacted. We wanted to make sure with Moda Bakeshop chefs that post on the Moda Bakeshop, we wanted to make sure that they were, a loyal chef that posted often. So that's kind of how we selected it first. Was we just asked a select group of people that had posted at least 2 or 3 times on the Moda Bakeshop to see if they want to be printed in our new book. And then we had them submit projects. And that actually went through a submission process. And C&T, and Moda combined, we selected the projects that would work best for the book. And that's how this one came about. And I actually created one of the projects in here. And it's a pillow inspired by a postage stamp, a vintage postage stamp, using my scrappy applique method. So we'll show that one later too. But so that was our first Moda Bakeshop book. And then I contributed to Modern Blocks. Okay. And I have 2 blocks in this book. There's 99 quilt blocks in Modern Blocks book, and they range from various bloggers across the world. I mean, it was a fun book to be a part of, just because there's so much variety in this book. And then Moda Bakeshop, of course, we had to have a second book. There's just so many projects and so many great chefs out there. We had to come up with a second one. So again, we went through that process of creating a Sweet Celebrations book with Stash books, and all of these are through Stash. Okay. So this was the second one, and it's all based on, celebrating, whether it's birthdays or graduations or Easter, it's any kind of celebration that you would do. We kind of did that one as the theme for this one, and this one is much bigger than the first one. So those are the contributing ones, and I've actually contributed in a couple new ones that are coming out. So
fun. So now we're going to show some of Angela's projects, both new and old. So tell us a little bit about these. Okay,
these are Moda Bakeshop projects that I've done on there that all use some type of pre-cut. So this one is a project that I did. They go together, having a boy and a girl. I have to do one, and if you're doing one, you got to do the other one. So, and they're so close in age, they actually look like twins.
Twin outfits.
Yeah. But this is the girl outfit, and it used a dessert roll, and I just sewed little ruffles onto the bottom of a button-up shirt, and then added a little applique with a little bling, and just put a little sash, and it's all tight, stitched on so it doesn't come off. So that was the girl version, and then the boy version, I just used the scraps that I had and put ABCD, so it was kind of more of a modern boy, grungy look for him. And then this was another outfit set that I did using a jelly roll. And this is also found on the Moda Bakeshop, but it's just, again, using a t-shirt and adding little strips that, they just kind of flap. So when they're running around. They just kind of flap in the air. It's really cute and fun, but really easy. You just stitch them on at the top and then put a little piece at the top just to cover up all of the raw ends.
And a nice little tie.
And a little tie in the back. And you can put the tie in the front. It really is up to you. But it's a lot of fun. And then the boy version had to somewhat match, but be very boy and modern. So those are. And then also on the Moda Bakeshop, I did a little Love You from the Love You panel by Deb Strain. It's just an ABC book put on a little ring. So it's fun for babies and little toddlers to learn their ABCs, but in a soft, fun way. I love doing the soft book type things. I've got several other soft books that I've actually published through Moda's website through free patterns, and then I'll have one also with the flats that have that uses a soft book type. And then this is another one that I use. It uses a jelly roll. And it's a little placemat chalkboard, and it has a little spot, and you can tell, whoops, my kids have been drawing in this. I didn't realize that. They apparently got into my little stash before I left, but you can draw on it. And
so what material is this?
This is chalkboard cloth.
Okay. And
it's fabric that's like a vinyl fabric that you can just sew into projects and make fun things with it. And then I just did the little jelly roll things, but it rolls
very
up.
Scrappy.
It is. I love that. Oops, sorry. I love that scrappy look. Get chalk all over me. It makes a mess.
That's okay. It's more fun that way.
It is. So yeah, it just rolls up, and you can put it in your diaper bag or whatever, take it to the...
Portable fun.
It is, and it ties off. So you can make several of them in different colors. I use the Half Moon Modern fabrics with that, so it's a perfect collection to do if you wanted to have like a red one, a blue, a yellow one, orange one for each different kid. And then the quilts that I've done on there, this is one of two that's part of one project, and it's a Route 66 quilt. I had to, again, with the quilts, I had to do a boy version and a girl version, and this is all part of the Simply Modern tutorial that's on the Moda Bakeshop. So there's the little Eva flower, and then the Route 66. So you have the boy and the girl version. And this uses a jelly roll. I love stripping jelly rolls together, whether they're solid or printed. And the background is all the backing here is all done with a solid jelly roll. So I just stripped the entire jelly roll together, made the backing, and then I stripped prints. I just color coordinated them. So I did all of the purple strips, and I sewed those all together, and then cut my applique out after I stripped it together. And so the pinks, again, I just stripped together all the pinks. It's a lot easier that way, and you get a lot of texture and depth in a project when you add different fabrics. And the greens, same thing. And then I just add the fusible web on the back, and then cut them out and sew them on. And then I use the jumbo rickrack for the stems. I thought I'd add a little bit of fun. So that's one project that's together. So you can have pick either the boy or the girl version. And again, same thing, same method of stripping light colors together to create your background before you're cutting out the applique. And this one actually features a reverse applique. Okay. So the black is all one piece, and then the white and the cream actually have the letters and the numbers cut out of it, so that way the black shows through. Okay. So it's a lot easier whenever you're putting letters together that need to be positioned perfectly. And then I created this was a vintage inspired bear paw quilt, And the original one was done by my great grandmother. She had it's very worn and loved. I loved this quilt, and my mom had it when I was growing up, and I just kept using it at sporting events and different things. And she's like, you can't use that. And I'm like, yes, I can. I love this quilt. And so I just kind of adopted it, and it was mine. I kept telling my mom, that's my quilt. To this day, she still tells me, you kept using that quilt. And so when I left home and went to college, I had to take my quilt with me.
Naturally.
But there's a lot of memories with that one. And as I kept using it, it kept getting more and more worn because I kept washing it and different things. And I've got little tatters in here and tears. But so now I've kind of retired that quilt, and I had to make a duplicate one. But yes, and it's a Moda Bakeshop project again. And it's a vintage inspired bear paw quilt is what it's called. And I used charm packs, turnovers, and jelly roll strips in this.
Okay.
So this is one of those projects that uses
multi-recut project.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I love the way the colors just kind of came out with that one, but putting it on a solid background gives it more of that modern feel and look. And then the flats. These were
The original flats.
the original flats. They were once on the Moda Bakeshop, but no longer there. We actually took those down because of the fabric. So yeah, they are the paper dolls that have the little clothing that attaches to them with Velcro. So
now we're going to show some projects from the books Angela contributed to. Tell us a little bit about what came out of Fresh Fabric Treats.
Fresh Fabric Treats. I did this pillow, and again, it was inspired by a vintage postage stamp. It had Lincoln's head over here, but I cut that part out, and
that would have been a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not doing that one. We'll interpret that a little bit differently. So it's a U.S. airmail stamp that was 25 cents. And again, stripped. This is kind of my thing that I like to do is strip jelly roll strips together and make appliques out of them. So I'm kind of hooked on it. Call it an addiction. I don't know. A jelly roll scrapping addiction. I don't know. But the background is a jelly roll that I stripped together. And then added, this is a jelly roll that I cut in half long ways to make the border and put a jelly roll in between. And then all the reds I stripped together and then put fusible webbing on the back and cut out the letters and put those on. And then just used a little blanket stitch around all of the letters. And then jelly roll again on the sides and even on the back. And it's got little ties. So, and then I just used yardage for the ruffle. But it's a fun, pretty pillow that uses just a jelly roll. It's great. And then the next one was from the Sweet Celebrations book, again, Moda Bakeshop book. And this one, I love it. It's so plain and simple, but it's a modern take on an autograph quilt. This one is made to look like a piece of notebook paper. So I, again, stripped jelly roll strips, solid jelly roll. Stitch the lines. Yep, that was part of the quilting. So the way I quilted it was just straight lines done in blue threads and then straight with the reds. And then and then I put the year. So you could use it like the year a baby was born or your graduation quilt. Yes. So then you write on it, and you can even go back and, hand stitch embroidery on top of each one of those, or you can just take the easy way and use something that makes all these permanent. So it's a lot of fun. Something just unique that doesn't take a lot of time.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about the projects from your book.
Yes, Stop Go Quilt Sew. That one has 12 projects in it. And one of my favorite projects in the whole book is this knapsack. It's a little sleeping bag for kids. Whoop, there we go. That rolls up, and it has a little attached pillow, and the pillow can come out. So you have an opening in the back so you can easily wash it if the child gets the knapsack dirty. But this one was inspired by the chevron signs that you see to slow down. Mm-hmm. So that's why you see the slow on the pillow. Around sharp curves and different things, you'll see those chevrons. So that's the quilted knapsack. And it rolls up and closes up. So it's
like a perfect little sleeping bag.
Yeah. And then another project that's in the book is this Do Not Enter messenger bag. This one is a lot of fun, and it gives you, I put step-by-step pictures and instructions on how to construct the entire bag. Okay. It's got pockets on either side. There's a zipper pocket in the back. And then the flap opens up, and you have pockets, all kinds of pockets on the inside for storing pens and notepads and whatever. But it's great for boys and moms and anybody. Girls even like it. So I love this one. I carry it around with me all the time. But the Do Not Enter keeps people out of your bag. And then there's a couple of pillows. There's about 3 pillows, and there's one over here, a no U-turn, speed limit 25, and the merge pillow. Each one is constructed a little bit differently. So the circle one, you have a whip stitch whip stitch closed. So you can't take that pillow form out after you sew it up. Okay. This one actually has a little opening that you can just slip the pillow in. So I wanted to do different techniques for each one so you can learn how to make different pillows just as if you're learning as a beginner, you have all those different techniques on how to make pillows, but it also gives you some fun. Yes, that one's a zipper. And again, the jelly roll stripping. I love it. Can't stay away from it. And there's towels. Just adding a little cute little applique at the bottom. And this one I did a raw edge. It's just straight stitching. Again, this jelly roll stripping together, or even your just scraps sewn on the little strip that's on the towels, and you can do a hand towel and everything else. But this was made to look like the cross guards at a railroad stop. And then I have a quilt that's in there. It's titled A Wall Hanging in the book. But it's a nice little throw size quilt, and it's a green light go, red light stop traffic sign or traffic light quilt. Again, the scrappy, or even just your scraps. So like you can see in here, there's different size strips just to give it that scrappy look, and the jelly roll stripping on the back with some little letter applique. And then there's other projects like t-shirts and jackets where I bought a jacket or a t-shirt and simply added some applique to the back of it just to personalize it or give it more of a unique look so you're not like everybody else. But this one's fun because it's the kangaroo crossing. So a lot of fun. And this last project is not actually in the book. Okay. This is a free project that's on Sew It All TV's website that I did for a TV episode that's showing in May. But it's a little iPad mobile case.
Oh, cute.
So you can tell people to keep out of your stuff. And put it in your Do Not Enter bag. Yeah. They should get the hint, right? So that's all the projects that I have to show for the Stop Go Quilt Sew, but there's several other ones in that. A big 36 by 36 stop sign that you can put on your wall. A duvet cover that says no parking from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So the child should not be sleeping during the day. You can only go to bed after 7 p.m. and get up before 7 a.m. So there's a
lot of projects.
Yes.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about the projects that are made using flats. So tell us about the dolls.
Okay. The dolls use the panel. And so here's the panel that you'll get. There's two different colorways. There's a ginger version and a cream version. So you can mix and match the hairs. There's different hair you can pick from, a front and a back, and the girl and the boy, and there's even little pets. So you can have
a cat and a dog.
Yes, you can have your
pet.
Yes, they have to have a pet. So put your name on it and different things like that and mix and match. So there's two different colorways, a ginger and a cream. And there's a girl and a boy version with their pets, the cat and the dog, and you can mix and match their hair. So you can, if you really wanted to have a cream colored doll with black hair, then you can use the two different panels and mix and match them.
Yeah.
So because this one is on the ginger version of it, so you can easily mix and match the dolls and the hairs from both different panels. And then even the side, you can use that for various projects. So we'll show one that's using the instructions as part of a project, so you don't throw it away.
Yeah.
Because I can't throw stuff away like that. It's fabric. You gotta use it. This scrappy thing. And then there's the clothing. The little Velcro clothing that you have to put on your dolls. There's, again, two different colorways. There's the blue and the green version. The girls' clothing with shoes, and then the boys' clothing with their shoes. And the other colorway is a red and orange with some touches of yellow in it. And you can embellish the shirts as shown. We did in a demo.
So you can watch our YouTube video to find out how to construct the dolls and the clothing.
Yep. So that's the dolls. And then there is a house that uses there's 24 coordinating prints that goes with the flats collection. So there's 4 different panels, 2 doll panels, 2 clothing panels in different colorways, and then 24 coordinating prints that go along with the collection that match the doll's clothing. So this is a flats house that uses Soft and Stable by Annie's in the center of it to hold for the stability of it. And then I just use the coordinating prints using scraps and solid pieces of fabric to make the appliques on there. And the instructions, and this is the back, the full instructions for this are on the Moda website, Moda Free Patterns. So it's www.modafabrics.com, and just click on free patterns and you can download the pattern and make it yourself. So it's a lot of fun because when you open it up, you have hours of play that the children can imagine.
They fit right in perfectly.
They do. They can sit and chat on the couch for a little while, have a cup of tea, and just have fun. And you can customize it any way you want, pick different colors. Let your kid, help with picking. Paige helped me pick. She actually designed, she told me we were going to do a bed back here, and we kind of talked about, let's do a couch. They can sit and talk with their friends. And then she had to have stairs. We don't have stairs in our house. So her flats house had to have stairs. So we put stairs on the side with a little secret door in the bottom. So let your kid help with that. So it's a lot of fun for them. And then there's on my website at www.angelayosten.com, there is a free project on making just a simple bag, a little tote bag that I used the instructions from the panels at the top just to give it a cute little
text print.
Yeah, and then just use some yardage. And this actually, you can also use a layer cake square because this is the size of a layer cake square. And then the jumbo rickrack I used with some grosgrain ribbon. And it's lined, and your flats fit perfect in here. So
nice little carrying.
Yes, and here is the little doggy, and they fit perfect with the little people. So lots of fun. And then I have some patterns coming out that you can get through my website or from Fat Quarter Shop. or any other retailer that carries the patterns from Angela Yosten Designs. This is a pattern that's called Me and My Flats, and it contains both of these little outfits. So there's the shirt for the boy.
And it matches the flats shirt, so you can match your doll.
Yep, it's Me and My Flats, so you got to match. And then the little girl's dress, or it can even be a tunic if you really wanted it to be for an older girl. Yep, but it's a little dress and it's custom fit to any size. So the instructions include how to make it custom fit your child. And it matches the little flats girl dress. So that's one pattern. And then another pattern is called the Baby Argyle Quilt. And again, it's using the Argyle print from the collection, but just turned into a quilt. So what I did is, it's a jelly roll. We're going to do a demo on this one as well that you can get from the Fat Quarter Shop YouTube. And it uses a layer cake, and I just scrapped it together, added some Aurifil stitching from my flats collection of thread, and you can get 2.5 quilts out of each jelly roll and layer cake.
That's a lot of quilts. Very functional.
And the other one is called Around the Block. And it's this fun quilt that uses a layer cake, and it uses the entire layer cake for that collection. But it's fun because it has a little weaved effect pattern in the quilt. And again, uses some solid sashing. And that's all done with the coordinating prints. And then I'll also have a soft book and different things like that I'll periodically come out with new patterns that use flats that I just get inspired to do.
So be sure to keep checking Angela's website at www.angelayosten.com, and be sure to visit us online at www.fatquartershop.com.